Your blood work came back normal. Your TSH is in range. Your T3 is fine. Your doctor said you're healthy, but you can't lose fat. The scale won't move. Your energy is in the toilet. You're eating clean, training hard, and your body is acting like it's broken. Here's the truth. Your blood work isn't telling you the whole story. There's a specific hormone almost no doctors test for that could be the entire reason that your metabolism has stopped working, and it's called reverse T3. And if you don't know what that is, you'll spend the next 10 years of your life fighting your own body and losing every time. Today I'm going to break down it all completely. What reverse T3 is, why your body produces it, how it physically blocks fat loss at a cellular level, and how exactly to reverse it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand more about your own metabolism than 95% of doctors and 99% of online fitness coaches. I'm Nolan, former D1 football captain and soon to be pro football player, and I've helped 100 plus former athletes rebuild their metabolism using the exact same protocol I'm about to walk you through. This isn't theory. This is the framework that I use every single day with my clients. And here's what we're going to be covering: the lab range trap most doctors fall into, the thyroid cascade in plain language, simplify it all, what reverse T3 actually does at the cellular level, and the 4 things driving it up in your body right now. The blood work that you'll actually need to ask for, and then the exact protocol that we use to reverse it called metabolic priming. This is the deepest breakdown of reverse T3 that you're going to find on YouTube. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing you need to understand is why your blood work lied to you, okay? So we're looking at the thyroid cascade here. When your doctor runs a thyroid panel, they almost always just run one test, and that's TSH. So that's your thyroid stimulating hormone. And the reference range that they use when they're testing this is about 0.45 to 4.5 milli-international units per liter. Okay, so if your TSH falls anywhere in that range, your doctor's just going to tell you that you're fine. And here's the problem. This range was set decades ago, right? Like based on a population that was going with undiagnosed thyroid dysfunction. So the bell curve, right, that they used to define normal was skewed so crazy, right? Because people were so out of the normal and the population was sick. So the optimal range that's been associated with actual healthy metabolism is under 2.0. That's 2 point, like they're saying 4.5, right? That's incredible. So think of it like this. Imagine that they set a reference range for blood pressure based on a population that was mostly overweight, sedentary, people that are smokers. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Normal range would look high because most of the people were unhealthy, so it's skewing the data. And that's exactly what happened with TSH. So you can have a TSH of 3.5, which is well within the range, right? When we're talking from 0.5 to 4.5, and still have your metabolism running at half speeds. When we talk about metabolism, you guys have seen my other videos. That's just the rate at which your body burns calories at rest. So if I'm just sitting here, all the functions going on, digesting, everything that's going on in my body, the rate at which that burns fat calories, okay? So that's only the first layer. So even if your TSH is optimal, your metabolism can still be broken like we talked about, okay? It's just one signal in a large cascade that we're going to go over here, okay? And that's what nobody explained to you. So the thyroid cascade, let me walk you through how this works in plain English, okay? So when we're looking at this right here, and we have the hypothalamus at the top, okay? So the hypothalamus is the general. If this were, a military hierarchy, I'm gonna explain it to you through that, okay? So this at the top, our hypothalamus, assesses the situation in our body, our energy availability, our stress levels, our sleep, our food intake. And based on what the hypothalamus sees, it sends an order down into the pituitary, okay? That order is called a TRH, okay? Also known as a thyrotropin releasing hormone, okay? TRH. The general, your hypothalamus sends a TRH down to the next level, right? That pituitary gland. And think about the pituitary gland like the colonel, or the colonel, okay? The general to the colonel, okay? So the colonel receives the TRH and responds by releasing this TSH. Okay, so the thyroid stimulating hormone. The TSH is the next order that gets passed down to the field officer, right? So we're getting closer to the troops on the ground, and that's your thyroid gland, okay? So once the TSH gets there, it produces a hormone called T4. T4 is essentially inactive, right? It's the raw material. It's like sending lumber to a job site. Okay, the lumber alone doesn't build the house. The workers need to do what they do with it. Okay, so for T4, this stuff that's being sent from your thyroid to actually do anything, right? This lumber, it has to be converted, and that's where the magic happens, right? Like, and this is from where most people, you see at the bottom here, this is where it all falls apart. So T4 gets converted into in your liver and in your gut and in your peripheral tissues, okay, by an enzyme family that's called I always have trouble with this one. Dioidanesis. Okay. And here's the critical part. Really critical. Okay. The T4, as we can see at the bottom, there's a split. So we're not going from general to colonel to field officer now. We're splitting. So we can go into two different areas. Okay. It can either go into active T3 or it can go into reverse T3, as we can see here. Okay. T3 is the active hormone that drives your metabolism. So this is the soldier. These are the soldiers on the front line doing the work. So T3 binds to receptors on every cell in your body and tells them to burn energy, to produce heat, to generate ATP, right? Which is our energy, right? Build muscle, lose fat, all that stuff. So T3 is incredibly important, right? Or it can convert into this reverse T3. And reverse T3 is the same hormone. It just has one tiny structural difference, okay? That's the difference that changes everything, though. Reverse T3 is inactive. It cannot drive metabolism, so it does nothing. Worse than nothing, actually, and that's what we're going to cover in this next phase, okay? So here's the part that most people do not have any, like, this is not explained to them at all, okay? Reverse T3, as we get in here, reverse T3 doesn't just sit there doing nothing. It actively shuts down your metabolism. So look at this. It's saying, right? It blocks T3, active T3 at the cell. So this is the problem. Not the fact that you don't have active T3 firing. It's the fact that reverse T3 is blocking you. So think of every cell in your body as a car. And to make the car go, you need to put the key in the ignition. Active T3 is the key that fits that ignition perfectly, okay? And this T3, when it binds to the receptors of the cell, the ignition, the cell turns on. And energy production starts to fire up. This is when our metabolism accelerates. So reverse T3 is a key that's basically identical to T3, right? But there's a bend in the middle, okay? It fits in the ignition, but it doesn't turn it on. It just gets stuck in there, right? It's stuck. And when it's in there, your actual key to go turn it on, you can't get in. Yeah, it's like when you have a master key, but on some doors it doesn't work. All right, when I used to play D1 football, there was a key, they'd fit into the lock, but you couldn't turn it, and that's like reverse T3. And this is called competitive inhibition. So this is when reverse T3 competes for the same receptor sites as that active T3, and it's literally physically blocking it from binding and creating the energy, the ATP, and firing up your metabolism, right? So even if your blood work shows that you have plenty of this T3, the active T3, in your bloodstream, if your reverse T3 is high, your cells are unable to use it. So the car won't start. It doesn't matter. And so this is when most people for the first time understand why their blood work looks fine, but their body acts broken. And let's be real, most doctors are going to tell you, oh, if you don't have cancer, if you don't have something that's crazy off the charts, they're not worried about you getting into the best peak performance, being shredded. They're not worried about that at all. They're worried about you not dying, right? So you can have a normal T3, a normal TSH, and a metabolism that's still barely running. So this is what you probably feel like, right? You can't eat all the food that you used to. You're doing all the cardio in the world, you're cutting food, and you're still not getting shredded. And that's because reverse T3 is sitting in the way of that active T3. And it's like a security guard, right? Or maybe even another field officer, right? That's telling these on the field troops that you can't go here. So there was a research article, that was really well studied and did a really good job of showing this, right? And it showed that reverse T3 levels rise significantly when you're in a caloric restriction, when you're cutting calories, illness, or chronic stress. So for those of you that aren't getting a lot of sleep and have been doing cardio to the death of you because you think that that's the answer, look at what's happening, right? The rise in reverse T3 directly corresponds to a drop in this metabolic rate. So, this isn't fringe science, guys. This is established physiology. It's just not, this is not taught in the standard fitness or medical level, because a lot of people, the doctors, are not trained in endocrinology. They're not specialists in that realm, and that's exactly what we specialize in here. That's what I've dove into the past couple of years, studying all this stuff. Okay, so now you know what reverse T3 is and what it does. Okay, so the next question is, why is our body producing it in the first place? So we're going to jump over to this right here. Okay, the 4 drivers of high reverse T3. Okay, and I'm going to explain this to you step by step. So if you have one, your metabolism is going to suffer. If you have all 4, and this is most former athletes, you know that you guys are living a busy professional life, right? Your metabolism is essentially shut off. Okay, so we're going to walk through every single one. Okay, the first one, chronic caloric restriction. Crash diets, right? Undereating. A lot of you guys have been undereating without realizing it, right? You stopped playing your sport, your activity dropped, you assumed you needed to eat less to stay lean, you cut calories, and you felt fine for a while. You probably got good results. And then you stalled, and then you cut more, and then you stalled again. And now you've been eating at or below maintenance for so long that your body's just adapted. And here's what happens biologically. Body fat produces a hormone called leptin. And you guys have heard this, ghrelin and leptin. And we'll talk more about this on the channel as we dive deeper and deeper. YouTube video a day coming out. I'm committed to you guys. Leptin tells your brain how much energy that you have stored. So when you have plenty of body fat and you're eating well, leptin is high. And your brain will say to itself, right? Like, we have an abundance. We can run the metabolism. We don't need to be worried about starvation, right? We burn freely. That's what you're saying it with active T3. When you chronically restrict these calories, your leptin drops. And your brain reads that drop as starvation. So your brain doesn't know if you're starving, if you're trapped in a famine, or just starving because you want to not lose your 6-pack and you want to be able to take your shirt off at the pool, right? So the biological response your body is seeing is identical. And so the hypothalamus, then we go back to the other diagram, right? Suppresses this TRH. The thyroid produces less T4. And then those enzymes that we talked about, they shift to making more reverse T3 and less active T3, and that's what's killing you. So this is where your metabolism slowly goes down to match what your brain is perceiving as scarcity, right? So this is the anti-starvation mechanism of the body. And this evolved to keep us alive. So it was good, right? Like, it works the same way though that it did back then as when you've been eating 1,800 calories at 195 for 2 years. So the metaphor that I like to talk about with my clients, right? It's like a thermostat that keeps recalibrating. So you set it to 70 and now the room hits 70. So your body lowers the set point to 65 to save energy. And now you're freezing. So you turn the heat up, but the body lowers to a set point of 60, and it goes on and on. It's just this self-defeating cycle. And then you get scared when you do add food and you gain a bunch of extra weight, right, guys? You know exactly what I'm talking about, and you freak out. But it's not the answer, okay? That's metabolic adaptation, okay? So, number 2, chronic stress and elevated cortisol. What are the 2 things that contribute to this? Poor sleep, a lot of responsibility, kids, a family, a job that produces stress. Cortisol is the stress hormone. First of all, not getting enough sleep on the weeknights, and then staying up late with your wife or your significant other, and then you're just destroying your sleep cycle, or not allowing yourself to sleep in on the weekends and get that extra recovery. This is produced by your adrenals, cortisol. Your brain's going to perceive this as a threat, and this is important to understand. Your brain can't tell the difference between a tiger chasing you and a deadline with your business. It doesn't know the difference. So the cortisol response is the same. So we're fighting against millions of years of biology because we don't fully understand it. So here's the problem. The cortisol directly blocks the enzyme that converts T3 into active, or T4, sorry, into active T3. So when we're talking about those type 1 enzymes that do most of the conversion into the liver, this is what we're talking about, okay? So when cortisol is chronically elevated, not just little spikes, like for a long time, which always, usually is for busy professionals, right, that are checking their inbox at 9 p.m. And not allowing their brain to shut off. your T4 piles up and has nowhere to go. So the body shunts it and turns it into reverse T3 instead. Once again, the key is in the door, but it can't turn. And it's blocking the key that we need to get in there to turn on your metabolism. So there's a body of research from this guy named Jack Kruse and others that is showing that even with modest elevations in cortisol, well within what doctors would consider a normal range, right? Like we talked about, this can significantly reduce T3 production and also increase reverse T3 at the same time. Okay, so this is your life, right? Picture this. You're eating clean, you're training, you think about, that you're doing everything right, but you sleep 6 hours, and that's maybe in bed. So you're not actually getting 6 hours sleep. You're stressed about work. You're on your phone before bed. And then the elevated cortisol is just silently going to your thyroid hormones in the wrong direction every single day. And this is why you can't out eat a stressed nervous system. You can't out eat it. You have to address the cortisol, or the protocol that you put in will not work. Okay, driver number 3, chronic cardio overload. Okay, and this is where the fitness industry is screwed up majorly. You've been told that cardio is the answer to fat loss. More cardio, higher intensity, burn more calories, outwork the food. But in reality, chronic cardio is one of the fastest ways to destroy your thyroid. When you do this prolonged cardio or even hit high intensity interval training, over 130 to 140 beats per minute. This is what it showed. Sustained for more than 20 minutes. This is when you spike cortisol. And we just covered what cortisol does to the conversion enzyme, right? You're going to deplete your glycogen aggressively. And muscle glycogen sends another signal to the brain, right? The glycogen is in our muscles that stores in there that allows us to have the energy to go produce when we go and train. And the brain reads it as a famine signal. Once again, a starvation signal. So it's the same as under eating. You guys can see here, number 1 and number 3 go hand in hand. So now you're getting a double hit. Cortisol's up, glycogen's down, and your body is going to respond by producing more reverse T3 because it doesn't want to burn that fuel freely because it thinks that you're in starvation mode. I hope this is starting to make sense. I know these are really big concepts, but I'm really looking to break it down metaphorically and within visuals so you can understand it. Like I said, and no more than 90% of doctors and 99% of fitness coaches and people. I mean, you're already way ahead of almost all people if you've made it this point in this video. So the takeaway, high intensity cardio is not a fat loss tool, okay? Eventually, maybe it is at times. It's not the thing that you use all the time. It's a stress event, right? And if your body's already running in chronic stress, it's the thing that's going to push your metabolism over the edge. And the metabolism is what we need to truly get you shredded, okay? The metaphor that I like to use for this one, if you grow a fire, you need wood, oxygen. Cardio is like dumping water on the fire and wondering why the fire is getting smaller. Why is my metabolism not working? Okay, driver number 4, inflammation and liver function. Okay, so this is the last driver. About 70% of your body's T4 to T3 conversion happens in the liver. And this is where the liver, the enzymes are most concentrated. So if your liver isn't functioning well and the conversion gets impaired, once again, reverse T3 rises. Okay, so what hurts this? 1, alcohol. Even a glass of wine. I know it sucks. A lot of you guys love to, have a good glass of wine, but that's gonna destroy that conversion. 2, chronic inflammation, poor diet, gut dysfunction, chronic stress. If you're having a bunch of protein powder, that's not gonna help in any way. 3 would be undernourishment. So a lot of you guys aren't having the right micronutrients in your diet. You're not having the correct profile, or that's catered to your biology. And a paper out of the British Journal of Nutrition showed that selenium deficiency alone, which is just one micronutrient, can reduce T3 production by up to 40%. Think about that. So that's just one micronutrient. There's going to be a lot, right, that you could be missing out on. So here's the brutal reality, guys. Most former athletes are living a busy professional life and are running all 4 of these at once. How many of these resonate with you? They might all, right? You're under eating because you've been told to. You're chronically stressed because of your job, your lifestyle, your family. You're in a self-defeating cycle. You don't make enough time for yourself. You're doing cardio because you think that's how you're supposed to lose fat, and you like that feeling of going and doing work in the gym. And then your liver's overloaded from even just a couple drinks on the weekend, processed food because it's easier at times, not enough protein, right? All 4 red, and your metabolism is broken. I hope this makes sense to you guys now. It's doing what it's exactly designed to do, though. It's not your metabolism's fault, it's your actions' fault and not understanding it. Okay, so now we get into how do we fix this, right? How do we fix this? First of all, the thyroid panel that you're going to ask for, and here's the optimal numbers that we're looking for. You're going to go to your doctor. Here's your action plan, okay? And you're going to get all of these measured on your blood panel. If you cannot get it from them, I highly recommend a company, and this is mostly for my people in the US, Function Health. There's some other ones like Marek for my people in Canada, but I would highly recommend Function Health. That's what we do with all our clients. It's incredible. Okay, you're going to see these numbers. You guys can just take a screenshot. I'm not going to go over them. Save this for later. Write it down. Whatever it is, put it in your notes. Okay, so this is going to be exactly what you're looking for, and the numbers you're going to be below. Okay, now the protocol that we can really control. Okay, this is the really good, the long-term fix. This is our good old metabolic priming protocol, the same protocol that we've used with all our clients here. You can see, got them from soft to shredded, right? We started using their metabolism and look at the results that they got. There's me as well doing the same thing. Started here, 200 grams of carbs, 570 grams of carbs at the end. You guys go watch the video of it. We got Trey here, insurance sales specialist, and he's really busy, and we got him diced up. Cyrus, he's a sales manager as well, got him shredded up. Jared, he's a founder, did a graphic design company. They do a bunch of different work for people consulting, and he lost 40 pounds and got shredded. Now, how do we do that? Okay, here we go. The first, it's called metabolic priming. I've talked about it so many times, but this is going to be how we reverse the T3 and get the active T3 going up. Now that it makes sense to you guys, and comment any questions that you guys have for me, and anything else you guys want to, me to cover, because this is going to be high level nutrition that I'm going to give you guys. This is going to be one of the best YouTube channels out there that's going to be giving you the stuff that you need to get through all these plateaus. Okay, first one is going to be the carb ramp. This is going to be the number one thing. These other ones, you guys probably know these already, but this is something that you probably don't know. You're going to add 25 carbs a week until you hit a true maintenance plateau. We're going to keep the same macros week by week too. And what this is going to do, it's going to give your body consistency. It's going to allow it to adapt properly. Okay, so this is going to reverse driver number one, as we see here, which is chronic restriction. Okay, this is going to signal safety within our body, and you're not going to freak out when you go up 2, 3, 4, even 5 pounds. You're not going to freak out. You're going to allow your body to adjust. This is going to restore the leptin, and everything's going to start working better. Number 2, strength and steps. Now, you're probably already getting your strength sessions. That's a whole nother thing, is periodizing it correctly and having progressive overload in the right way. We're going to add our steps in there. What you're going to do when you take a phone call, you're literally going to hit your steps. When you're with family, when you're looking to have a meeting with someone, you're going to, when in doubt, you're going to get up, you're going to get steps in. Whenever you can get steps in, you're going to have a standing desk, and that's it. And you're going to cut cardio to 0. That's right, you heard me. Cut cardio to 0 and raise food. And this is going to heal your system. This is going to reverse driver number 3, cardio overload. And this is going to build really good, we call it glucose disposal. You're going to start having glucose back in your muscles because your body's going to need them for the strength sessions, and it's going to be good. You have to be patient and give your body time with this, okay? Now, 8 hours of sleep, in bed by 10 p.m. If you tell me you don't have time, go look at your screen time on your phone and tell me that again. We're also going to allow ourselves to get sleep on the weekends. We're also going to go to bed at the same time on the weekends. We're going to go to bed, did you hear me, at the same time, and you can buy back those hours that you would have had Friday night. Get them back in Saturday evening. Get them back in Sunday evening. You're going to feel so much better. This is going to unblock that T4 to T3 conversion enzyme that we've talked about. And then you're going to have times where you do nothing, and you're going to build systems within your business. Another topic for another time. You're going to use AI. You're going to do all these things, and you're going to give yourself time to not do anything. Morning sunlight is the only thing you need to worry about in your morning routine. You're going to get out. You're going to get exposure. If it's a cloudy day, just go out for a little bit longer. Okay, the last thing, protein. You guys probably are tracking food, especially if you've been in a deficit. Make sure that we're at least at 1 gram per protein per pound of body weight. We like to go 1.2. 3 liters of water, and we're going to limit alcohol, guys. If you could just go 1 day a week, if you could go every other week, that would be a win. Whole foods, you guys know this, okay? We need to drive that inflammation down. That's it, okay? So if you do these 5 things from this video, you'll be miles ahead of everyone else. Eat your body weight in protein every day, 10,000 steps. No exceptions. 8 hours a night. And I'm going to put morning sunlight in there too. No exception. Cut all the cardio. hit your strength training 3 to 4 days a week, and then start adding 25 grams per, these next 2 weeks. So 50 grams total starting tomorrow, and your metabolism is going to come back online. Okay. If you are struggling, if you're in the shadows, if you're looking to get results like these guys did through our metabolic priming method, our athletically shredded training, where we get your body feeling good and looking good, and our data-driven systems to stop guessing, to have ways to, make it effortless, to track your food in less than 5 minutes a day, to not even have to track food at some point. If you want to be free, if you want to have your dream body, go DM me on Instagram. The link is down below, Nolan Olm at Instagram. Go DM me, and we'll see if I can, help you out. If you're a good fit for the community, if you want to just book in for a call and you're tired of just struggling in the shadows, go click that link down below. Got an awesome community of just savages like this, guys, and we're looking to add more, only people that are the right fit. So if you're really looking to make a change and get the best shape of your life, this is where you need to be. Make it happen. So that's all I got for you guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. Make it happen. Out.